G'day trendsetters, I'm John with Gravel Cyclist and I'm coming to you today with our Wheelset review. If the box to my right isn't a massive clue, this is none other than a wheelset from Chris King Precision Components of Portland, Oregon. The man Chris King and the company, Chris King, is pretty legendary when it comes to headsets, hub sets, and now wheel sets. Quick segue, if you're interested in seeing behind the scenes at Chris King headquarters, I highly recommend you check out my factory tour video linked in the description below. This wheel set is very interesting. It is the Chris King GRD23 featuring the company's R45D hubs and this special rim that features fusion tech. Apparently this tech is also recyclable, so it's a break from the norm of potentially busting a wheel set and tossing the rims and so on into the landfill. So without further jibber jabber, let's crack open the box and see how these wheels look. Pop open the box. Okie dokie, small parts enclosed. Let's check that out first of all. Okay, there's a quick start guide for the hubs and, oh, this is brilliant. The good folks at Chris King also supplied me with another cassette body. This is for SRAM XDR. And there's also some tubeless valves inside the package as well. And here are the wheels. Have no fear. I'll remove the packaging momentarily and give you all a closer look. Here they are, unwrapped. Now it's time to cover the tech specs of the front and rear wheel, respectively. And here be the front wheel of the Chris King GRD23 wheel set. What I like is they've included this nice little personal touch. There's the wheel builder, Bree. In fact, I believe Bree may feature in my factory tour video, so it's nice to put a name to who built these wheels. Now, this front wheel features 24 SAPM CX-ray spokes laced in a 2-cross pattern. Now, the FusionFiber hookless rim we're seeing here is a cutting-edge thermoplastic that incorporates long-chain polymers, which in regular lingo essentially means Chris King could tune the rim's characteristics to suit, in this case, gravel cycling, meaning they have added a certain level of pliability, give, etc. versus loading up the rims with a crap ton of resin to create nothing but insane levels of stiffness. Now at the center of these wheels, right there, is the legendary R45D center lock hubs in a fetching red center lock. I absolutely love that standard for mounting rotors, and theoretical size is 12mm. Flip it over, same spoking pattern on this side as well. Let's try and get this rim close up, hopefully it's in focus. And let's flip this around for you to read. And this is the interesting part. FusionFiber technology makes this rim recyclable. Go to chrisking.com and also find out about the lifetime warranty. As I mentioned earlier, if you are somehow able to smack one of these rims, they can recycle it and build it into something else versus just chucking it away. So that's pretty nice. And the rear wheel, once again featuring the FusionFiber rim, so PMCX ray spokes again, and in a 2-cross pattern on the drive side and on the non-drive side as well. 142 by 12mm through the rear through axle. And the cassette body in this case is Shimano. XDR, as I showed you a moment ago, is available. Unfortunately, Campagnolo is not available at the moment. And once again, hookless. For these rims, the recommended tire width is 32mm up to 45mm, but they will happily accept 28mm up to 50mm in width. And these are 700C if I didn't mention it earlier. Now it's time to hear the Freewheel sound. I know you're all hanging to hear that. The Chris King buzz, that might actually be trademarked. All right, let's get it wound up here, make sure it's in focus. Not as loud as Chris King hubs I recall from the past, but still the distinct Chris King buzz regardless. Now is a good time to throw these wheels onto the gram scale. Rear wheel onto the scale. These weights include the rim tape, 811.5 grams. Front wheel onto the gram scale, 686 grams. Now let's balance the rear wheel on top. Total combined weight, 1,498 grams. Alrighty, it's time to measure these rims with one of my trusty calipers. Let's do outside to outside first. 29.6, that's close enough. Inside measurement, look at that, bang on the money. 23.04. Then finally the depth, 23.95. That's the techie features covered. Now it's time to mount up some tubeless tyres. Today I've got something different, Continental Terra Trail 0-100C by 40mm. I have a long-term review of this tyre appearing hopefully sometime soon. There is no sealant inside this tyre, dry mount. I've removed the valve core, and hopefully my Bontrager TLR flash charge pump will deliver a nice shot of air to pop this tyre onto the rim. I want to avoid, if possible, applying a second or even third layer of tape. Here we go. Now that is the sound of success. I love it when a plan comes together. Now here's something else really nice about these wheels. This is the valve cover on the Chris King wheel set. Now look at this part. See that little hole there? That serves also as a valve core installation tool. I've never seen that before. So rather than tossing this sort of stuff in the bin, now it serves a function, and this is made of some kind of high quality aluminum if you will. That's the tyre mounting procedure covered. Now it's time to find out how the Chris King Precision Components GRD23 wheel set rides. Tipping the scales at pretty much bang on 1,500 grams with rim strips. The Chris King GRD23 wheels aren't the lightest on the market, but they are among the highest of build quality, accompanied by a lifetime warranty. The asking price is steep at US $2,650, so automatically the wheel set is way beyond the reach of many gravel cyclistas, but considering this wheel set is constructed from high quality materials built almost entirely in the United States, and along with the US-based labour, that has something to do with the pricing. The GRD23 also marks the first time we've seen an entire Chris King branded wheel set for sale, as the brand has relied on third-party rims for past wheel builds. These Utah-made FusionFiber rims, aka thermoplastic carbon fibre, are used by a few other wheel companies here in the United States, but after a tour to Chris King headquarters in Portland, Oregon, I can confirm the layup in these rims is built to Chris King's exclusive spec. Concerning that spec, and I alluded to this earlier, Chris King was looking for pliability, or compliance as just about every other cycling journalist calls it, but without sacrificing stiffness. I can also confirm the wheel set meets these goals, but remember, tyre pressure is still the #1 factor for overall comfort in a wheel set, so be certain to check out my handy tyre pressure chart linked below. I rode this wheel set primarily with Trek's version 4 Damane all-road bike, so I admit the ISO speed on the bike's rear end is helping a little with the comfy factor, but at the front end, it's hard to detect, to be honest. But for larger bumps, potholes, ruts and so on, their harshness seemed a little diminished, especially compared directly to a wheel set with deeper rims. As you can see from this video, I didn't exactly hold back in any manner during this rough, rocky and fast ascent not too far from Gunnison, Colorado. I picked a line, steered through the worst of it and held on. The GRD23s didn't enter my mind at any moment. That's the sort of confidence I held in riding this wheel set. They also accompanied me to Minnesota for some further thrashing, and they're still looking pretty good and nice and true. Concerning the hubs, well, what's not to love about Chris King hubs? In my experience, they're durable, easy to service, in my opinion, their simple aesthetics are a thing of beauty. In particular with this red anodized set, extra sweet. And of course no worries about fast engagement, they just work. But there is one little issue you may want to be aware of when it comes to attaching or removing a rotor to the rear wheel, as I found out during the wheel setup. Allow me to demonstrate. There's one caveat with this Chris King hub that some Chris King owners might already be aware of, is that you cannot install your rotor lock ring without first removing this end cap and this other cap here where you do your preload adjustment. So you can slide the rotor on, that's fine, but when you go to install your lock ring, and this is the oversized variant of Shimano's lock ring, namely it's the HB20, so you'll see it won't fit over that preload adjustment cap. So what do? We've got a screwdriver here, probably not the best tool. So I just want to get the tool underneath the lip right there and pop it off like that. There we go, pretty simple. So you want to loosen that hex bolt off, and I keep it in place, and what I then do, let's move the wheel and get the rotor out of the way just for now. I hold the drive side end cap and I just put my Allen key right in there so I have a bit of grip, and I unthread it. So it's already coming loose. There you go, that's off, it's pretty easy. But again, not everyone's going to enjoy doing this little process. So you put your rotor on, install it like that, center lock of course. Then you would thread your rotor lock ring. I'm just going to thread it down loose for now for the purpose of this application demonstration. Then you put your preload adjuster cap back on, and it's going to bottom out pretty quickly. Then you put your end cap into place. There it is. Now I would set the preload when this wheel's installed on the bike. With this minor quibble out of the way, who is the Chris King GRD23 wheel set for? Well, if you can deal with the price and factor in the lifetime warranty, excellent build quality and overall durability from a wheel set that is no nonsense but doesn't have the issues you often associate with deeper rims in crosswind conditions, the Chris King GRD23 wheel set could be for you, and I think it's going to be one that's going to last a long time. You can also spec the hubs in one of many available color options, so there's something for everyone. So there you have it, trendsetters, my review of the Chris King GRD23 wheel set designed for the gravelly roads less travelled. I realise nowadays there's an absolute bloody cornucopia, smorgasbord, whatever you can think of to describe the massive number of wheel sets available on the market today for your gravel bike. So I sincerely hope that my review went some way into helping you make an informed purchase decision. As always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel for review content such as this. No bullshit gravel bike reviews, ride experience videos, and general madness. As all of it is released to the channel. I'll see you, yes, in the next video.